Good day, good folks. Welcome to another video. My name is Benjy Uyama with the Blessing and Family Ministry. Today we have a truly dicey topic, a very taboo subject that you're going to find very intriguing. I was having this conversation with somebody, a matching candidate, about the matching process and preparing for marriage. And we started talking, and then I shared through the process about my story and my struggle with pornography and how it impacted my views about women and my future marriage, etc. And then with a kind of understanding that, this brother I was talking to probably has a similar struggle as well. And, he very, very shyly confessed to me that he has also had a struggle with pornography. And he kind of shared his internal story and his struggle and what led up to it and all the story and how much turmoil it's caused him in his life and his stress that it's caused him. And I asked him if he told this to anyone, and he said he's never told a single soul his entire life about this struggle with porn. And I just thanked him, like what do you say in a situation like that when no one's told anyone? I just thanked him. I said thank you for telling me, having the honesty. And I said, but you are not the only one. Are you the only one? No, no, you're not the only one. It's not like we live in a world where pornography is everywhere. We live in an entirely over-sexualized and hyper-sexualized culture where everywhere you look is borderline pornography. Everywhere you turn, every website you go to, you are led down a rabbit hole of pornographic and softcore borderline pornographic material everywhere you go. It's unavoidable in our current culture. Of course, people struggle with pornography, men and women. And I'll show you some statistics in just a second. And in this video, I'm going to talk about exactly why this kind of situation is not uncommon. It is very common. And especially when we're talking about the matching and blessing and preparation, we've got to talk about this issue. There is no way I can not make a video about this right now. So I got off the call with him and I was like, I'm going to make a video about pornography because this comes up way too much and it is something that's worth talking about. All right. So we had that conversation. I said, you're not the only one. Thank you for telling us you're not the only one. And he, after our call, he said, I feel so relieved to tell somebody about this, and I said, that's fantastic. Now you got to get to work and do the work to work on your integrity. Because if you believe in the value of the blessing, if you believe that you want to create a relationship, a marriage that is radiant and a blessing that is truly anointed by God, that God loves to be in, and have an incredible sexual relationship that is selfless and lives for the sake of the other. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. If you want that kind of relationship, you have to work on this aspect of your life right now because it will affect your future relationship, and the impact of your decisions right now will allow you to change your habits right now. Okay? So the first question we get into regarding the matching process is exactly how common is pornography in our movement? And so we have done extensive surveys with High Noon. High Noon is a nonprofit organization run by blessed families, blessed couples in our movement. They've done tremendous work around the world, touring, doing educational content about the value of God's vision for sexuality. And the biggest roadblock for us to experience true intimacy and absolute sex is the insidious, destructive porn. And so High Noon has done extensive surveys of workshop participants. And this is a survey results for 1,000 of our young unificationists in our movement from middle school and high school and college students, 1,000 of them, okay? So for men that responded, 82% intentionally accessed porn in the last 6 months. 68% accessed porn at least monthly. 34% accessed porn at least multiple times per week. All right, let that sink in. For women, 48% said that they intentionally accessed porn in the last 6 months. 31% accessed porn in the last month, at least monthly, and 10% accessed porn at least multiple times per day. This is of 1,000 individuals from all over the world. This is not demographic specific. This is countries and regions from all over the world, all of the languages. 85% said that they have never spoken with a parent about their porn use. 66% have no one to help them quit. 77% believe porn is causing them harm in their lives. 74% believe it will have a negative impact on their blessing. Okay, with that said, I don't want to scare the living crap out of you. I don't. But don't you think that it is important to know that not only societally speaking in our world, but also in our own unificationist movement of young individuals who are attending workshops, who are the most qualified to receive the blessing and go to the matching, who are really serious about their life of faith and wanting to receive the blessing, are having this level of addiction to pornography. Not to say that it with any judgment to them, but really out of a heart of compassion and understanding that this is something that is very much prevalent in our world and is something that is worth addressing. Okay, so the next question naturally becomes, if you are an individual who is struggling with a porn habit right now, that is preparing for marriage or preparing for the blessing, or you are listening to this as an individual who's already blessed or in a relationship, which we have many of as well, what do you do? What steps do you take, especially if you're preparing for marriage right now? Well, if you have a porn habit, you know by now that this is not something that you can turn off overnight. If it was, you would probably have done it years ago, a decade ago, 5 years ago, right? A long time ago. It is something that absolutely cannot be done alone. And I want to drill this into your mind. And we've seen this over and over with High Noon. High Noon, if you go to highnoon.org right now, you can actually join a free program. You can join a group program where you can have a group of individuals who are on the same path, the same journey as you, to go through this process of seeking recovery, healing, and then helping other people experience the same level of healing and recovery. Whether you're a man or a woman, we have programs for both at highnoon.org. And it's through this process of connecting with real people and having real accountability and not just in our head, because the more we think, oh, I can just overcome this by myself. And we all know the cycle that goes up on there, the stress cycle of this relapse every single time. We all know the cycle. The more we think we can do it on our own, we're just tricking ourselves. We're pretending like we're making effort. We're actually not really willing to get rid of the issue at its core. And the only way to get rid of an issue of this nature at its core, of this very insidious and very secretive and very lonely act of masturbation, pornography, and is to actually take it out in the open, not post on Facebook or tell the whole world. No, it's to tell a group of individuals that you've grown to trust and respect in a very focused, very centered, God-centered group of people, and create real accountability. Have somebody take you on this process, a group of people take you on this process of a 3-month program, which is what High Noon is offering, to really rewire your brain, reset yourself to be in a place where you can confidently say, heck yes, I am a marriageable human being and I am ready to get matched and blessed because this thing is behind me. I can do that. I did that when I was preparing for marriage. Many people are doing that. Just go to High Noon and you can see all the website, all the testimonies of people who are sharing about their experience, right? And so that's the question number one, is what do I do if I have this problem? You can go to highnoon.org. This is something that you can address right now. The other thing that you need to do that we require for everyone who's going through a matching process, regardless of the extent of a porn habit or the addiction level or how long ago it was, is to always disclose your porn habit with your matching partner. This is critical, even if there has been significant amount of time before since you last slipped up and acted out. Even if you received special grace recently, before you, after you kick the habit. And the reason is that a habit is something. The reason that getting blessed doesn't naturally automatically fix your porn habit, which many people do believe to be the case. The reason that it doesn't work like that is as soon as I'm in a relationship and we're having an intimate life, I won't need pornography or masturbation as a crutch to lean on. The reason that doesn't happen is, one, porn is addictive as hell. It is designed to keep going. And number two, habits don't work like that. A habit is a habit because it's something that you keep with you, regardless if you're conscious of it or not. Maybe in the beginning stages of a matching process, you might fool yourself into thinking like, as soon as I start talking with someone, or I'm in a relationship and I'm blessed, then I won't need it. I'll just decide not to do it. The reason that doesn't work is because as soon as you start arguing, or you have a big fight, or you really start stressing out about life, or you really are just putting your guard down and thinking, scrolling through the internet and see something, the reason that doesn't work is because we never know when a habit might kick back, right? So that's why when you're in a matching process, you have to always disclose your porn habit. And which leads us to the next question, which is, if you are the other side of the situation where you do not have a porn habit, and you're watching this video and you're concerned because you saw all those statistics, and if you're in the minority of individuals who doesn't have a porn habit, or you do, or you have had a porn habit, regardless of who you are, the question is, how do you deal with it? How do you approach this topic in a sensitive, delicate, and a productive way with a matching partner? And the quick answer to this is that it's really good to ask. That's really the best thing that you can do, is ask sometime in the matching process. Not like the first day you meet, not the first few weeks that you're meeting, but sometime during the matching process, when it feels natural, when it feels a natural occurrence, you should have in your mind that you will be asking, how's your relationship with pornography? And if they say, yes, I have a porn habit. Okay, next question. Are you serious about getting help? And are you getting help right now? And if the answer is, if those questions are, yeah, I have an addiction and I'm not doing anything about it, then that's a red flag right there. But on the other side, I want to go back to the individual of struggling. You can expect that this will be a question that they will ask. You should anticipate that during the matching process, your future spouse, your matching partner, will ask you, how is your relationship with porn? How do you want to respond to that question? Honestly. Do you want to say, yeah, it's something I'm struggling with, slipped up a few times this week. It was like a level 4 out of 10, All joking aside, I'm trying to keep this lighthearted because it's such a heavy topic for all of us. But how about you answer them like this? Yeah, it's something that I did struggle with, and I overcame it, and I'm very proud that I did. And have that confidence under your belt, then that is awesome. That is super attractive, and that's something that any spouse should look for. Is someone who really went through something difficult, not only overcame it, but is actually in the process of helping other people do the same. That is awesome. We have a whole pool of facilitators, leaders in High Noon that are leading these groups of individuals who are struggling with porn, that have overcome porn themselves. These are the most qualified matching candidates that I can imagine. Many of them are blessed and have gone through the matching process, and I help them go to the blessing in Korea and get blessed, right? And it's these individuals that are taking their sexual integrity serious, regardless of how severe the addiction or habit is. They're realizing that my mind is totally skewed in terms of how I view the opposite sex, how I view men, how I view women, how I view myself. And therefore, I need to do work on myself right now to rewire my brain to a point where I can actually start seeing people's innate beauty, the innate attractiveness that God put in them, not the superficial external things that I've tricked my mind and trained my mind to be thinking. But as soon as you can start seeing women and men differently from God's perspective, from God's beautiful perspective, the way that God designed them to be attractive, beautiful, then you are in good standing, my friend, to start talking with someone, So how do you want to answer that question? Do you want to say, yeah, I'm struggling, it's really hard? Or do you want to say, it was hard, but I'm overcoming it? But my point here is that regardless of where you are, there is a step for you. There are people in the same boat. There are people that have done the same thing as you. And you don't have to just tell one person your entire life and struggle with it in silence your entire life. You don't have to. You could if you wanted to. Maybe that's, honestly, if you ask yourself, maybe that is what you you want to do, because pornography is, to be honest, a very appealing crutch in many ways. It's a crutch that we use when you're stressed, or you use when you're angry or frustrated, or you're confused, or you're tired, or you feel like you worked really hard and you deserve a little something at the end of the day. You might feel like you deserve that, but if you really want to get to the bottom of this, then you got to check out High Noon. They have so much great free content. There's a podcast that's produced every week. There's free YouTube content. There's blogs, articles, everything that High Noon offers is free. It's all donation based. And at the end of the day, you can actually help a lot of people yourself after you come to a certain level of recovery and healing. You can help other people experience the same thing. And that's really where the beauty comes in. Okay. So going back to the other end of the spectrum, which is people who are maybe don't have a porn habit and is really worried about, how do I navigate this conversation? You got to ask, you got to talk about it. Whether they say it themselves or you ask them, it doesn't matter. It's just something that has to have give and take. And if they are, the next question is like people have is, if they have a porn habit, it's like an on and off thing. How far do you go to say, like absolutely not? Given the statistics that I just showed you, there's a good chance that a lot of the people that we're considering have had a porn habit, right? So how far do you go to say that, like, no, they have to have absolutely, like, never had any porn habit? And that could be important to you, and that's respectable. But how realistic is that, in honesty? And what we found is that the couples that navigate this situation this most successfully, and I've mentioned in previous videos that for the last 2 blessings in Korea, 2020 and 2018, of the couples that went from America, 12 of those couples from each of those years, 12 of the couples have been participants and have been saved by a High Noon program, which means they've had a porn habit and had to deal with this pornography topic within their matching process. So the couples that successfully navigated that and have beautiful relationships and beautiful sex lives, and not just like basic fake sex lives, like truly, like God rejoices when they make love. These kinds of couples, what they did was they had give and take about this. They talked about it. Maybe for some of them, it was a little bit of a struggle, at the beginning, or like one individual was really shocked and it was just nerve-wracking talking about it, and they got educated, right? And the key is education on both ends. Is you have to be educated about the nature of pornography, what causes a porn habit and addiction, how it manifests in someone, and why is it that people are so addicted to porn. The more educated you are, the better. Because if you're not educated, then you're just responding to situations on an ignorant basis. Either you're going to completely react in a negative way, or you're just going to react on the other side of the spectrum, which is just like, okay, big deal. Like, I don't understand the problem. But education is the clear, healthy medium where you know enough about it to know how to navigate it in a healthy discussion, productive discussion. So having give and take is truly the key. Healthy give and take that's not fueled with emotion and anger and judgment or frustration, but just being honest and listening to them and asking the right questions. And of course, most important is the individual who has a porn habit or has had a porn habit to be able to share honestly about it and just being open about it and making sure that they're getting help. I can't tell you how few people get help in this area. I can't tell you. It is shocking to see. High Noon has grown tremendously in the last year, has gone from like a 5-person team to like almost a 100-person team in the last year of volunteers, individuals, part-time, full-time staff who are helping people not only with pornography, not at all, with their integrity, character development, preparing for marriage, sexual integrity, having really good intimate lives, sex lives within their own marriage, and helping their children to gain sexual integrity. Well, all of that done within High Noon. And even so, there's not enough people going through High Noon program, given the statistics that we have. There's not enough people. Why is it that even though it's such an insidious and prevalent issue in our culture, in our families, why is it that we're not seeking help when we need to? I think the honest answer is that, well, one is that people don't know, people don't have courage, but also people don't want to truly get help. That makes sense. If we're really honest with ourselves, if somebody has a true porn habit or addiction, addicts make the greatest liars. That's how the saying goes, right? Addicts are professional liars. And that goes to other people, and that goes to themselves as well. They trick themselves into saying like, oh, I just need to do this, or I just need to do that, or I just need to be clean for this amount of time, or the next time I do it, I'll tell somebody, or these kind of mind tricks. But the real cause of the issue is they're not really serious about actually getting help and getting serious. I was just talking to this brother that I mentioned. He said that the reason that he wants to get rid of this habit, the driving desire that he has to get rid of the porn habit, is for his future spouse. And when he thinks about the impact that his porn habit makes on his future relationship, that intimate relationship, it just about brings him to tears and repentance, because he's realizing that he is directly affecting somebody else. And it's through that I think that is a truly beautiful way to not only be honest with ourselves and realize that we have a problem, but also to just have the motivation, the drive to do it. If there's one thing I can say from this video that helped me get through my own porn struggles and to help me have the courage to be in a blessing and go through everything that we've been through in our marriage for the last 10 years and have children, it is just having a clear vision and drive for my life. That's it. I was very clear when I was 16 years old. I was like, I want to get blessed. I want to have this kind of blessing. I want to be happy. I want to have children. I want to raise them this way. And I had a clear vision of that. I wanted to do that. And I wanted it. I really wanted it. And every step of my life since then, from work, the work that I do, from preparing for matching, the way that I did, my relationships with my parents, people around me, my involvement with my community, everything I've been doing for the sake of that vision, that dream of establishing that. And we're still working on it. There's so much more to do in terms of raising my family and my relationship with my wife. We're constantly growing and working on it. But it's that vision that keeps me going and wanting to work. And not only that, I've come to a certain place where I've had success in certain areas that I feel like I can give and help people. I want to help folks who've been through a similar experience. And if it's helpful, then I'm really glad to hear that. And if that's you, then please consider sharing this message with your family, with people that you love, anyone at all, about the pornography and how it impacts the matching process and the blessing. There's a lot more to say on this topic. I don't want to just say that this is the end-all be-all video presentation about pornography in the matching process. There's so much more to say about it. But I want to leave that up to High Noon. I want you to go to highnoon.org, check it out, join a group if you want, or just check out the free content. But I really encourage you, do check out the group course, the group program. All right, God bless. That's all. Take care.